Now, important with these guys, I want to work up to something decent. There's a million ways in which you can do 50% of your 1RM well. I would love to work up to somewhere between 70 and 85% for a few reps to make sure that we're looking at an actual representation of what your heavy efforts look like. Yeah, you're right. So you've got competing elbows and knees. So I want you to move your hands out or your feet in slightly. Okay, who's working, breathing, and bracing at the same time? Yeah, remember that. Always remember, breathe, brace, tuck hips underneath. Feel that effort as well. Okay, pause. And if you two could just deadlift together, you're good examples of the opposite things. Yeah? Go ahead, pick your bar up. Okay, now just go all the way down, both of you, to your bottom position. So we see completely vertical shin, and we see shin push forward. So what's your name again?
Jamie.
Jamie. Jamie is going to tend to challenge herself off of the floor, but at lockout, mechanically, she's got a big advantage. Where, your name again? Janelle. Janelle's going to be fine off the floor because she's used to pushing her knees forward. Once that bar gets to her knees, it's going to be so far away from her hips that it's going to be a challenge to then bring that all the way back. Okay? So in terms of corrections, we would want you to think about pushing your knees slightly further over the bar. And we would want you to get your feet a touch wider, get your hands a bit wider. Like, honestly, give me the bar. I want you, it's going to feel weird. Let's go pinkies on the first break in the knurling, and your hands just outside your hips. Okay? Then set your hips back and keep your shins vertical.
Keep my shins all the way vertical?
Pretty much. Go feet wider. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, if you can put the bars down now. If you get into a really strong bottom position, the area that you should feel the most tension is right up at the top of your hamstring. Okay? So if you set your hips right, and if you're pushing them back right, that's where you should feel like you're loaded up, and that's where you feel like you should get the spring from. If you're too far over the bar, it'll all be quads. And if you're too far back, it'll all be your low back. Okay, so that's a really nice sweet spot there. Make sense? Yeah, let's start stacking on a little bit of weight. Again, we want to warm up to 70 to 85%.
So the height of your hips also kind of determines how far your knees are moving.
Yeah, one or the other.
Okay.
Definitely, because if you push knees forward, hips will drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because her hips are really high and
Yes.
her hips are really low.
Yes.
So it's finding the balance between those two.
Yeah, and then it also depends on if someone's tibias or femurs are longer.
Yeah.
And so that's mostly her tibias are much longer than her tibias.
Yeah.
So she feels like she needs to push forward because her femurs are so much longer to get to the bar.
I'm constantly being told that I have to lower my hips when I'm doing it with deadlifts. So.
Let's put some weight on and take a look.
Okay.
What percent are you at? Okay, let's do a set of 3. Look down at your heels.
All time?
Yes. Down at your heels. Okay, cool. Nowhere near 80%. That was easy. That was really good. But you can definitely, if you take a video of yourself from the side, you'll notice here to here, you're locked here.
Yeah.
If we can get a little bit of motion into that neutral position, we'll be much better. But for reps, you do really well of staying nice and high and getting your shoulder blades forward, so you get away with it pretty well. But if you're moving 80% like that, you're a weapon. Okay. Really good. All right. Okay, so, yeah, good. Feet a little bit wider. Good. Okay, drive through your heels. Good. Give me 3. Okay, good. All right. Hands out in front of you. Okay. Okay, from there, cave your chest for me. That is what you need to do down there. Okay? And notice how much higher up your chest can be when you cave your shoulders. okay? 100% something to work on, yeah, over time. Now, that wide hand position today is to exaggerate what I want you to work on. That's not the most optimal for you. You should be slightly more in, but that's a great training way to get used to not driving your knees over the bar so far.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thanks. I like it. I like that.
Yeah? Good. I mean, just completely dissociate this from your clean and jerks and your snatches, and immediately you'll shoot through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Don't move your feet. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Do you have any hip injuries, hip
So
replacements, knee replacement?
this hip is not, it's like always angry,
Okay.
but that's it.
Okay, what's your name by angry?
It's always like, I can't do box jumps because then it just aches in the night.
Okay.
I think it's like maybe arthritis. I'm not
So
sure.
do you remember, take arthritis out of your vocabulary.
Okay.
I was saying you have arthritis is like saying you have wrinkles.
Okay.
It's super normal. Everyone's got it. Just ignore it. Now, the number one issue that I said people have with their hips is based on foot placement. Your foot on your left side is dead forward, and your foot on your right side is out to the side. If I tried to deadlift with a forward foot like that, I would get pinching, angry hip. I'm going to assume that this is how you generally operate. If that's the case, we're constantly hitting our femur against our pelvis. So let's do the same thing, but just take note of your feet. Turn your toes so that they're a bit more symmetrical. Flare out the left toe a touch, just like you do the right one, and see how that feels.
Is this right?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do a set of 3. Good. Beautiful. How did that feel? Okay, good. I want you to start thinking about operating that way always. Yeah, with your squats and with all your movement. I bet we could get you box jumping today, cueing, flare your toes, and I bet you would be fine. Because you can imagine the irritation to your labrum, the thing that holds your hip socket in place, if you're like constantly distracting it. Yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Tuck the chin. Tuck the chin when the bar's on the ground. Yeah, much better. Good. When you tuck your chin and you look down here, you're miles better. And then you can look up when you stand up. That's fine. But if you tuck it here, your position, you move. The bar speed was like 20% better. Yeah. Yeah. And the reason it's turbo speed is because you round your thoracic back. Now it's like pulling off 2-inch blocks. Miles easier. Yeah. All right. Don't think too much. Okay, pause. All right, so your femurs are quite short compared to your tibias, right? Meaning that you can get away with your feet slightly closer.
I'm a naturally pigeon-toed or whatever. So
That's all right.
is that right?
You can still be pigeon-toed with close feet.
Feels weird.
I could be here if I wanted to be.
All right.
Yeah?
Well, not pigeon-toed, just like stander, I guess. So here.
Yes. Okay? You're going to get more power off the ground this way without losing anything at lockout. Push those knees over the bar and drive up from there. Okay? Good. Beautiful. Okay? Then you said you don't do deadlifts much. It just comes down to coordination because your inclination when it's here is to go like this.
I lock out first.
Yeah? You lock the knees out before your hips, but that's just a bit of time, a bit of exposure. I do think you're going to be better off in that slightly narrower stance if you practice that. Yeah, inside the knurling would be a good spot for you. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Beautiful. Okay, make sure we're grabbing with our hands at the same spot. Okay, double over, make sure they're even. Good? Okay, give me the same thing.
So is it you want to brace while you're standing upright and then go down, or
Great point.
At the bottom?
Great point. Always brace when you're standing. Okay? Especially when you're doing reps. If you brace when you're standing, you're gonna have so much room in your midsection to breathe, where as soon as you fold over, there's nowhere for you to breathe anymore. Okay, good. Breathe up here. Breathe, big breath, touch and go. Good.
So I use my grip, like I feel like my limiting grip starts to slip.
So we either go over under or we go hook grip.
I usually go over under.
Okay.
That was just hook grip, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You also don't have chalk.
Yeah. And like just taping your thumbs, is that like
It helps them not be so sore.
okay, that's the only thing, not really.
Yeah, a little bit of grip there, but a lot of soreness.
Okay.
Give me an over under. Let's see how that looks.
Okay, sorry. I usually breathe. I think I breathe when I get down. So
Yeah,
that's
which is hard because you can't.
Yeah.
And there's no space. Okay. Big breath. Unreal. Beautiful. Yeah, really good. In terms of your hips being too high, I think you're totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, important point though, we're always breathing at the top, okay? If you can't, the only way to get around that is if you're down here, you can't breathe here, so you can try to breathe here and then bring the bar in and go from there, okay? Ideally though, we're standing up here, okay? You'll get twice as tight. You'll notice if you do a one rep max, and you brace at the top, you'll be able to do another one every single time. I don't recommend it, but you get twice as tight when you brace at the top with the weight in your hands. Yeah? Good work, guys. Well done. Give one more round on those deadlifts with those cues, and then strip them down for the next people. Okay. Your feet are entirely pronated down into the ground. Like collapse down. Like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like big time. As soon as you start to lift that weight.
Okay.
Okay? So when we want to correct that, the worst thing you can do is think to externally rotate to come up onto your toes, because now we're creating a torque at the knee that you don't want. Yeah? So
Okay.
you've got pretty bad? Yeah.
Very light ones over here, but
No, that's perfect.
nice.
Okay, around your ankles.
Yeah.
Okay, now instead of using the cue to try to feel out here, don't think about that at all. I want you to think about putting pressure right there. Okay? Right on that outside of your heel.
Okay.
The whole time.
Okay.
Okay? You should feel right here
Yeah.
working particularly hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? Now, important to recognize this is going to feel bad off the ground to gain strength at the knee.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, pressure on the outside of the heel.
Like there?
Yes. Much better. Much better. Okay? That's how you warm up every single deadlift set now.
Okay.
Okay? How did that feel?
Slower off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As it will.
But that's okay.
As it will. That needs to be corrected. If you just slow-mode your feet, you're like so all over the shop. Okay? So the reason it feels bad off the floor when it's at light weight is because you can get away with unstable base if you can just hammer it the whole way up.
Yeah.
As soon as that starts to slow down, you're gonna now have this area at which it feels heavy and you're still capable.
Okay.
Where with that technique, as soon as it starts to get heavy for you, you just be done. You can either hammer it through lockout or it would be a disaster. Yeah?
Accurate statement.
Cool.